Hello, Kim. Hello, hello. I apologize. I was just trying to get my computer set up. Mad scramble, getting home from work and getting set up. You know how it goes. My goodness gracious. Let's see here. Looks like I definitely need to come in closer. So let's see what we can do here. Give it a sec to catch up here. You thought maybe your sound was out. Sorry. Yeah, nothing like mess you up a little bit, huh? Let's see here. I wonder, I'm going to scooch this direction a little bit and see if that's better. That might be a little close. We'll see. Maybe not. I am so happy to be here tonight. Because I love to play with this stamp set, so I love any chance I get to do something fun. Now let's see, that light seems a little dark. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to adjust it. That didn't really help. Well, a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, that helps, I guess. Oh, too much maybe? Let's see what my hands look like here. Looks great. You think it's okay? Okay, perfect. Well, then we'll just roll with it. Yeah, so anyway, we're playing with the Gopher set, and I hope you're all doing well. It did help. Good. Okay. It is really cold and windy here, but sunny. So it's kind of weird. You look outside and you think, oh, it can't be that cold. And then you step outside and you're like, holy moly, it's cold out here. Anyway, so I am all ready to play. I have pre-stamped this adorable little gopher with the hat. I was gonna say it's my favorite one, but I also really like this little chubbo here. That reminds me of myself sometimes. So I'm also using a few pieces of leftovers from our recent retreat package, some of the papers. So I've cut out this arched shape from the leaf paper. It's umbrellas on the other side, which kills me almost not to use it, but this set works so well. This little piece of ephemera was from our kit. This strip of the pink paper was from our kit, the pink floral paper. And then I've just added a couple pieces of cardstock elements from my own stash. So first step would be to color up our adorable critter. And let's see, where did I put him, her? I don't know which is which, but I love it. That's all that matters to me. So let's see, where do I want to be here? Right about there, maybe? Let's see. So let's see, we're going to color... I think I'm going to use an E31, 34, 35. Might throw 33 in there for the body. Not exactly sure. I think I'm going to give a pink hat, but a little bit darker, kind of hoping to go along the lines of like the raspberry rose color. Your father-in-law used to wear a sun hat when he was outside. Well, yes, because they burn, especially if they don't have a lot of hair on top, they burn their head or their ears, the tip of their ears. That's the worst. Yeah, so I think it could be either. What else? Oh, so hat. So the hat. I'm thinking maybe along the lines of close to a raspberry rose, which is hard with Copics. So I'm sorry, I'm just playing around to see if I can get a color I like. There is a little bit of a darker color in here, and I'm going to fussy cut this, so I'm going to go down here and see if I like this color. I've got a pink card base. He had tons of hair like Al. Oh, yep. Yeah, but you get sunstroke too if you don't have your head covered. Let's see. That doesn't go too bad with that, but it's a little bit orangey. How about, let's see. How about, oh, maybe this. Let's see how this looks. This might be too dark. That's pretty dark, but it's cute. This is an RV17, so that's a contender. Or, maybe an no, I don't know. This one looks too muted. This is an R85. Oh, that's not bad though. I'm going to go with the, I'm going to try one more thing here. Sorry. 83. I know I have a bunch of markers that seem to be missing. I don't know if they've, well, they're probably dry. Let's see here. How about maybe an RV55? Oh, I like that one. Maybe we'll go with that one. Okay, we're going to do an RV55, maybe some accent with an RV17. And let's see, some greens. We need some greens. So let's see, greens. How about a YG? Let's see, this green cardstock has got a lot of like a YG 63 energy going on. So I think I'll do that. Bring that in. So that's a YG 63. Yeah. I gotta get my glasses on. I can't see things very well. And then what other stuff do we need? So we have hat. We need a hat band. Well, maybe we should do it like this hat and do the band in darker pink and do yellow on the hat. Why not? Let's do that. Let's see. That might be a YR or Y2321. Let's try that with maybe a little Scotia 31 in there, E31. All right, what am I missing? We have gloves. We could match the gloves to the hat band. And a nose, we could do pink or dark. We'll see how I feel when I get there. And then a flower. And the flower could be, we could pick up a little dot of maybe blue because it's a tiny little flower. So maybe let's pick up some blue. So maybe 34 maybe? Ooh, that's really dark. How about a 30? What's this guy? It's a 12. 93. Oh, a 32. Here we go. Let's try this. Maybe I already did this one. Nope, 32 is perfect. Okay. So now I think we have our colors. Thanks for bearing with me. This is what happens when I'm not pre-prepared, but that's okay, right? We're going to be okay with it. Okay, so let's color. I want to color. I need to get my glasses. I apologize if I sniffle a few times throughout this video. I'm not battling a cold, but it's like off and on. It's kind of like an allergy thing where my nose I just feel kind of sniffly, so I apologize. I'll try really hard not to do that while I'm doing this class. But it's amazing how much sound gets picked up also through the microphone. So even if I'm trying to be quiet, you might hear me anyway. So I apologize in advance. I'm going to start with the hat itself. I'm going to start from the top and kind of work my way down. So I'm going to use an E31. I got to turn this a little bit so that I can add just a little bit of darker. And then I'm going to put the Y23 over the top of it. But I want it to be a little darker. And again, I'm using the hat on the tag as part of my inspiration for my coloring. So this part is a little darker than the top part. And I just very lightly up here, just the lightest little bit. Is the symptom, oh, please don't tell me. I can't see your whole comment. I gotta look. Is the symptom, you're gonna tell me it's menopause, isn't it? Yep. Ugh. Ugh. As if there aren't enough of those. Good Lord. Good Lord. If anybody told me, I'm kind of glad I didn't know what I had in store for me. I would have just like, I don't know. Wouldn't have been fun knowing what was coming, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so now I'm coloring with the Y23 and I'm blending over. And again, I want the brim to be a little darker than the top of the hat. So yeah, the big old nasty M word. It's not even a 4-letter word. It's like an even longer than 4-letter word. And it feels like that when your body's going through it, right? I apologize to any of you young spring chickies who are not experiencing this that might be watching, because it's just not a fun topic. But you got to find some way to have fun with it. Or else, right? Okay, so that's Y23. Hey, Margie. I'm so glad you popped in. And then I have a Y21. So it's just slightly lighter than the bottom. And let's see how we did. Oh, I like that. That's good. Let's go with that. Then we're going to do our pink hat band, because I've decided, I don't know, it might be fun if we did a dark green hat band and gloves, because, well, the whole rest of the card is too girly. I was going to say, it would be a really cute guy gardener card, as Kim mentioned, her father-in-law gardening in his hat, but the papers I've chosen kind of don't go along with that. So we're going to stick with this is a girl gopher. Or a gopher that likes pink. Let's put it that way. All right, so R55 is my pink. And I chose this pink because it's kind of along the lines of, well, it's a little pinker, I guess. Raspberry Rose is the ink color of the month, and I want to use it on the inside, but I think I might have still gone a little too pink. We'll see, because it's got a tinge of purpley, I don't know, orangey, whatever. Okay, whoopsie, wrong end. It wouldn't be one of my live videos if I didn't open the wrong end of the Copic marker. Okay. And one more little swoop-de-doo with 55. So that other color was a YR17, so I went real drastically in changing my colors there. Let's see, next, let's do the body. And I, again, have chosen the E30 series. And let's see, we're going to start with maybe a 34. I might end up going a little darker under the hat, but let's see. Is this okay? Do you guys want me to be a little closer, or are we okay? Think we're all right? So I'm going to start with an E34 under the hat, kind of around the nose a little bit, right? And then I'm going to put some of the darker around the belly and the face. Back side of the arm, under here, and a little bit under the tail and the foot. Alrighty then, let's see what we got here. That was 34, and I might come in with a 35 right under the hat, but we'll see what I think. And then I'm just going to jump right to a 31 and see if I blend okay. And if I don't, I'll add in some of the others. So let's see, I want the lightest on the belly, so we're going to go, yep, I think I am going to end up putting in some of that 35. We'll see here. Oops, I colored the tooth brown. Whoopsie. I had a brown tooth when I was a kid. Actually, it was brown for a while, and then it turned black because I fell off my bike and face first, like face planted on the sidewalk. Killed my tooth. It was a baby tooth, thank goodness. So I think I must have been like 5. But I have pictures of me smiling with a black tooth. It's lovely. It didn't stay black in my mouth very long. It fell out. Or they pulled it. I'm not really sure, but I didn't have it for a great lot of time. Just long enough to get the picture, I guess. All right, just kind of, I don't know, not quite feathering, not quite dabbing, just getting some color in the belly because I want the lightest color. And I am going to dot a little bit. See here, just kind of want to see if I can get a little more texture in the belly. Okay, so now that I have decided that I do want some darker color, I'm going to grab the E35. Yeah, it was very sexy, Kim. Sexy, sexy. I'm just so thankful it wasn't like an adult tooth. I'd have had an implant at a very young age. And then, like, okay, so I think you'll figure out the pattern here in a moment, but then I fell off my bike when I was 14. I got a new bike, a really big, beautiful 10-speed bike, and it was actually too tall for me because I'm a little shorty. And I was going down a big hill outside of my folks' house, and there was fresh dirt and gravel on the road, and I got scared because I was going too fast. So I tried to hit the brakes, and I skid like crazy, and then I stomped on them even harder, and I flew right over. I flew right over the handlebars, and again landed on my face and skidded, and I had like both my cheeks and my top of my nose and my forehead all became a great big scab. And I hobbled up the hill bawling. I left my bike down at the bottom of the road, hobbled up crying my head off because I had fallen and was bleeding, and yeah, it was lovely. So Grace, as you may have guessed, is not my middle name. Although maybe if it would have been, I would have had a lot less accidents, right? All right, so just messing around here. So putting in the dark, I do like the dark better. Yeah, yes, I was definitely a clumsy kid, Kim. I was always bonking something or stubbing my toe or falling down. I just really wasn't, I was very, very clumsy, very clumsy. So sports were not my thing at all, thanks to my clumsiness, as you may imagine. And my bike riding career was fairly short because after that I wouldn't get on my bike for a really long time. So I prefer to just do sports that are a little closer to the ground, like hiking. I love to hike. I only run if I'm in severe danger, and even at that I evaluate what's the worst can happen. Am I going to get eaten? Am I going to die? Can I outrun it anyway? Nah. If any of the answers to that is, you know, what you would expect, then I'm going to get eaten. Oh, I forgot an arm over here. Okay. All right. What do you think? I like it. I think it looks pretty cute. Okay, nose. Let's do the nose. I don't know why, but I always default to dark noses. Pink noses are cute, but, well, hey, let's do a pink nose because I just don't usually do it. So how about an R20 and maybe an R11? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's play around. You remember when the 10 speeds got cheap enough for parents? Yes. Didn't realize how, I can see your comment here, how fast those, yes, and the handbrakes, exactly. Yeah, when I went flipping over that thing, it was like I felt like I was in somebody else's dream. Cheryl, that just brings back such painful memories, but I started it. But you're right, like, you know, the seat was too high, my legs were too short, you know, just all like perfect storm. Okay, I like that. So that was an R20 and an R11. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and give my sweet little Gopher the pink gloves. So I'm going to grab the RV17 again. And let's see here. Yeah, I think I was like 13, 14. I know I wasn't 15 yet. And it was actually my birthday bike, and I was so excited because I had been asking and asking and asking. And then, well, I lied. I told you guys a lie because I said that ended my bike career. But in my early 20s, I took up biking again because I moved into town and there were, you know, roads and streets, and I was in this big fitness part of my life, and I was riding my 3-speed bike. 3-speed? 10-speed. Anyway. And I was riding around the neighborhood, and a bee flew right into my eye. I heard it go bzzz, and it went pump, and it hit me in the eye. And I turned my head really fast, which was stupid because when I turned my head, my arms went with the handlebars, and down I went, and I chipped my elbow. So I still have a little chip floating around in my elbow. Oh my God, I feel like such an idiot. Now you know way more about me than you ever thought you might. All right, well, we're coloring here. Back to coloring before I embarrass myself anymore. Please tell me one of your klutzy stories. I'd love to hear it. Oh, and then I fell when I was in swim lessons. I had a crush on the swim instructor, and I was running to get to the diving board because I was going to show him how cool I was and what a great diver I was. And I slipped, and I landed on the slippery wet floor, and I went skidding, and I ended up between his legs. He was standing there with his hands on his hips, and he's like, "I told you not to run." I was so embarrassed. I wanted to die. Okay, that was YG63. I'm going to do a YG93 up here just for a little contrast. Pull in maybe the green a little bit. Gosh, and then I have a stupid trick-or-treater. That's what my brother-in-law still calls me story, but I think I'll save that for another time. Oh, I had several nicknames, Cheryl. I did. Surprisingly, that was not one of them, and that didn't have to do anything to do with me being clumsy, but you're right. And actually, you know, some of them, like I said, the bike thing, I was in my 20s, so you'd think I'd know better. Okay, so let's do the flower. And, oh, isn't he cute? I think so too. There, look at that. I love that little blue flower. Okay, eyeballs, eyeballs, eyeballs. So I'm going to grab an N1 because it's handy. And I'm just going to put the tiniest bit of shading around the inside of the eyeballs so that they don't look so crazy stark white. And then, and maybe a little bit down here on the teeth, but sometimes I end up with gray teeth, so I don't like that. But I can always take my white gel pen and make them whiter too. Okay, there we go. The sad thing is my poor son got my clumsiness from me. So yeah, I couldn't even, yeah, poor kid. I just could relate to him the whole time he was growing up. And he still, as an adult, stubs his toe all the time, just like me. It's just kind of funny. Okay, dark eyes. I just go right from talking to that to back to business. You got bitten by a dog when you were 4. Oh my gosh. Oh, Kim. Yeah, I think I do remember you telling me that story once. Were you terrified of dogs for a really long time after that? Okay, I'm using just an N9, and he looks really crazy with those big black pupils. So after it dries, I'll usually put like a white dot in there, but I'm also going to put a little bit of color around the inside of the eyeball. And I think that our little gopher needs to have maybe greenish eyes. Let's see, what have I got for greenish? Because my daughter-in-law has green eyes. Let's see. Oh, let's do blue instead. instead. I'll do blue instead. So I grabbed a B21 because that's the first thing I grabbed. And I'm just gonna go like this a little bit. So it looks a little less like startled. I went to log on to my computer the other night, and you know how maybe yours doesn't do this, but my screen periodically changes the picture on the front, and it changed to a really, really super up close picture of an owl peeking out of a log. And so I logged on, and the first thing I saw were these giant eyes staring right at me. About jumped out of my skin. I was like, what the heck? That is quite a screensaver to surprise somebody with. Okay, oh, I loved how this turned out. It's so cute. Like I said, a white gel pen to give it a little dot, or a pencil. Now I'm just gonna trim it down. Let's see here. I'm so glad Kim made me feel better about her story, although that sounds far more tragic. I think I'm just going like real wide right now, but I'm going to leave a white border, I think. Let's see here. I didn't want to go quite that wide, so I'm just going to go down a little bit from where I started. You know what they say, misery loves company. And I don't know, my daughter, she has definitely taught me not to take myself too seriously and to be able to laugh at myself. She's like, Mom, you're just stinking funny. That's all there is to it. Like, even when you're not trying to be. And I'm like, I don't know if that's truly a compliment or not, but hey, I'll count it as positive. But, you know, if I'm not laughing, I'm getting laughed at. So, you know, can't beat 'em, join 'em. All right, let's see here. Getting there. Oh, I got an itch. I wonder if that means I'm going to win some money. An itch on the palm of my hand. Better not be a sign of menopause. I know dry skin already. I already know that one. You name it, it seems to find me. All right, let's see here. I don't know, am I even in frame? I guess I should look up and check because oh yeah, I'm doing okay. So the same year during the winter, we had a blizzard and we were getting ready to go out in the snow, and your brother was standing on the end of your scarf. You yanked it and flew into the coffee table, and your mom had to get the neighbors to dig you out. Oh no. So we could take him to the hospital. Oh, I'm sorry for laughing. Oh goodness. Left hand is money, right hand is money going out. So, oh, fart. So that was my right hand. Dang. Okay, well. Left hand is money coming in, right hand is money going out. I bet he didn't stand on your scarf anymore, did he? All right, let's see here. Sometimes it bugs me when I leave a white border because I feel like it might be too much, and other times it's too skinny, but I generally kind of like the white, little bit of a white border because it makes me feel like it was die cut, and you always get that. And it's not always perfect, even with a die, right? Oh, I love these gophers. I love artist Netta's images. They're just so perfect, every single one of them. They're generally so easy to fussy cut. They're so wonderful to color. They're just so stinking cute. They always have the funnest little expressions on their face. There we go. I kind of like that. Oh, I sniffed. I apologize. There it was. And Kim laughed and laughed and laughed. Yeah, I don't know. She probably got in trouble. Okay, so there's that little sweet pea. Now let's put our card together. I'm going to try something, and if I hate it, I'm going to go grab another cardstock piece, but I'm going to try it. Or maybe I'll flip it over and decide it's the back side if I don't like it. But I kind of wanted a little bit of contrast, not a ton. We'll see how I do, because I tend to go a little overboard sometimes with inking. But I'm going to give it a shot. And this one is the Starburst stencil, I think. I wanted to use the rainy one because I think we still have that one in stock. And I'm trying to figure out if I got the right side of the stencil here, because sometimes it's a little sharper on one side than the other. I think I have it upside down. Nope, I think I'm okay. Anyway, you're coloring the chickens, yay! The rainy stencil with the raindrops would be super cute with this, because spring and rain and flowers. The fancy floral would be really cute because it's got the flowers that are shaped kind of like this one. But I grabbed this one because I thought it might be, because I was rushed for time. Let's just be completely honest. And it was there, and I thought it would still look okay. So that's the truth, Ruth. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna just give it some pattern. And I'm not gonna be like, I want it to be kind of light. It might end up being too light. We'll see what we get here. I'm avoiding the middle because most of the middle is covered from my papers. This is the Raspberry Rose, which is the ink of the month and on sale. And I'm glad, I really love that Kim, puts these on sale sometimes because, or, every month, because there's so many beautiful ink colors, and I tend to kind of like gravitate to one for a while and then the other, but by her putting it on sale, it prompts my brain to go, oh, find a reason to use that because you love that color. Oh dear, well that was way too light. Nothing even showed up. All right, let's try a little bit more. That's very unusual for me because I'm usually Miss Heavy-Handed Hannah when it comes to ink. Let's try this again. Let's see here. The zoopy-doo. Maybe I do have it upside down. And it's not going in as well. My brush is a little dry. You can probably hear that. It's just a little unintended, what's it called? ASMR or whatever. I'm so hip, I don't even know what it's called. AMSR, ASMR, I don't know. I remember asking the girls at the cabin last year because somebody said it and I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what that means. And they told me, and of course I knew, I knew I was aware of it. I just didn't know that's what it was called, right? But I also didn't know what a toque was, or an inukshuk, which I've learned so much from my Canadian friends. Alrighty, it's pretty light. Yeah, too light. No, this is Raspberry Rose. It says Raspberry Rose. I don't know what I had on my brush before. This might have been like a lighter pink. Oh, that looks good. I like that. I don't want it to be like hit you in the face, but I want to get it to work, right? That looks okay, except for I started my stencil a little too far down. So I'm just going to go around now the edge, just the very edge. Yeah, I might have had a lighter pink on there, so maybe it didn't. Oops. Oh, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's going to be fine. I don't know. I totally forgot what I was saying. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's just do this wonderful inking job here. Maybe I'll end up liking that I went a little overboard on the edges, right? So just going around, do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do. I kind of like it. Inking is so therapeutic, I think. Like, it's just so satisfying. Instant results. you have a motion, a repetitive motion that you can kind of focus on for a minute or two. I love inking. Okay, then I'm going to take my little tag. That's the truth. That is what I say, Tamara. Hello, hello. Then I'm just going to do the edge of this a little bit. It might be dry then. Yeah, it may be, but it's waking up. It's doing okay. It's doing just fine. There, I like that. It's kind of like a, oh, I do like that. See, happy accident. Sometimes that's just what happens, right? I think I will also do this a little bit. This is again a piece of the leftover paper from the spring retreat paper pack, which is fantastic. And I think Kim had 1 or 2 of them left. I don't know if you sold them yet or not, Kim. But it was a fantastic retreat package. The whole paper pack, so pretty. And the gems, oh, I love the gems. Sparkly gems and the ephemera. It just went so well with all of the new stamp sets. Just really pretty papers. I'm a paperholic, which is why I don't quilt, because I figure if I started doing that, I would have as much fabric as I have paper, and that could be embarrassing. Okay, so I've kind of inked everything. I do have these 2 little strips left over that I'm thinking I'm going to put on the inside, so why not just quickly give them a little bit of a, also, like, why not? If we're creating, let's just create. Let's just play. It was, wasn't it? You have a couple as well as the ephemera and those gorgeous gems. Ooh. Yes, so good. So good. Yeah, if anybody's, watching, seeing the DT and the people sharing their cards with the stuff from the kit, I don't know how they possibly don't have a huge case of FOMO just from the paper and the gems alone. But when you add that with what you're able to create with the stamp sets, it's like, how perfect can it be? And I'm pretty sure that there wasn't a lot of leftover either because of the way Kim splits that up with us. So someone who had that kit, actually, like even someone who had the kit would probably really benefit from having a second, because you pretty much use up everything in the paper pad when you do all the retreat classes. So if you want to make more of them, it's really handy to have another set. Okay, there we go. Lots of inking, lots of talking, yappy, yappy, yappy. You quilt as well, and too much stuff. Yes, Ellie, I have friends that quilt, and I don't know that I have I think I could learn it. I always said I could never be a card maker or a good color or either, but it's just one of those things that I always said, I don't have any talent. I can't do that. And I would say my first few things I made looked more like a kindergartner, but I found it so therapeutic and fun that I was like, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And then the more I did it, the better, more comfortable I felt. And I felt I got better at it. And so I do think that that makes a difference. So I think I could learn quilting. However, I did get a D on a wraparound skirt in high school. So sewing may not be my thing, just like walking without stubbing my toe. But I have 3 friends who quilt, and I just go sometimes into my one friend's room and I just touch her fabric and I just look at it, and it's so pretty, and she has so much of it. She will never in her lifetime, I hope she's not listening, use it all. 2 spots. Oh, only 2 for the journal club. And that's a cool package too, Kim. Yes, that is, you do the best job at finding the coolest stuff. Okay, so now I'm just going to put this card together. Actually, hold the phone. Ode de Faune. This is the inside piece, and I'm going to grab that stencil again and just add a little bit of real light. Let's see what's left on my brush. They're not, oops, might not be enough, but maybe just a little, right? Just to bring in what's on the outside. I'm trying to be better at finishing the inside of my cards because I drool over the beautiful way Alexis finishes the inside of her cards. They are so lovely, and it's very seldom she doesn't finish the inside. So I'm trying to be better. So let's see. Coolness, love it. Okay. Touching is where it starts. You mean it's not looking, it's touching? That's funny, Ellie. All right, so let's see. How do I want to do this? Do I want to crisscross them? I'm thinking I'm going to use one of the sentiments. No, it's too short to crisscross. So maybe I'll just do 2 strips at the bottom. I kind of want to use them. No, I'm just going to use one, and I'm going to stamp one of the sentiments and an image from the set. I'm going to use the shovel because we're talking about gardening. And actually, he might have had like some celery or an onion instead, a veggie thing. But I'm going to put a shovel and I dig our friendship on here. But I'm going to glue this down first as my anchor piece so I know where I want that. So let's grab that. Let's see here. I'm going to use my grid paper to help me get it on there somewhat straight. I'm going to bring it up just a bit from the bottom and try to be kind of even. I think that works. I'm okay with that. All right. And then grab my little stampy majiggy thingy majiggy, and I'm going to do the shovel. And the I dig our friendship. Hello, spring, I dig our friendship. Oh, I can't wait to hear Tammy. I think I heard one of the stories about Tammy for the first time. She came to your house and she was like, "Can I just see your crafty cave?" And then she ended up like falling in love with everything she saw. Craft and Kimmy, I think. All right, so let's see. I'm just gonna kind of lay this out before I move it into my stamp positioner. Yeah, I want to go this direction. These gonna be on the outside. Yeah, so that's how I want it. Okay, so I'm just gonna line it up in here. And I don't need to condition these because I've used both of them. So sometimes when you use your first stamps, I'm sure you've all seen this, we rub our fingers across them to get rid of the slick stuff that's on them from the factory so that they stamp better. But I don't really need to do that. I'm pretty sure I know I've used that one because it's dirty, but I don't know about the other one. So I'm just gonna boop, 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 boop. Okay, shut that on there. Just give it a quick swishy do. Swishy, swishy do. That is a crafting term if you did not know it. Okay, and ta-da, that's another crafting term. Okay, so I dig our friendship, and let's put that, oops, I had a piece of paper so that I can clean it later. I'll just do that. Okay, so that's our inside. Might as well get that in there now, and then we will finish the front. So, oh, you know what would have been cute? I didn't think of it at the time, would be to have a green border around the inside, but oh well. That, because we have the green on the front. But you know what? Guess what? You know what I'm going to say. Say it with me, folks. I'm okay with that. Okay, so let's just get some glue on here, but I think I really would have liked that better. Okay, here we go. So, let's see, you're gonna kind of center it a little bit as best I can. I'm a little bit too far on this side, but it's okay, I think. Yeah, just move it a tad. Okay, that looks all right to me. I think I can, whoops, live with that. I'm okay with that. Yes, yay, Kim, you get the gold star today because you knew, you said it. All right, then we're just gonna build our layers. I'm gonna set this on there for just a second because I want my fold to be a little bit better. I don't think it's gonna completely weigh it down, but it'll work. Where's my glue? Let's see here. All right, just building a little. So this piece is like 4 inches wide by, oh, I think it's probably 2. Yep, 4 inches, 2 inches wide by 4 inches long. And then the mat is just like an 1/8 of an inch bigger all the way around. So that works. And then this, oh, you know what? I spent all that time putting that ink on there, and I intended to put this around there anyway. So we'll see which I like better before I finish it. I could go like this. Actually, I don't mind that. I like that. I'm okay with that. We're gonna use it. Okay. KK. KK. Catch the rest on replay. Thanks, Ellie. Thanks, Cheryl. Okay, so putting together. We're getting really close to getting done here. Let's see here. So I just want to see how far up. I have something on there that's bugging me. There we go. I want to go like, yeah, I need to come down pretty far. Okay, so all right, so I'm just pretty close to the bottom. So I'm just going to get that on first. And let's see here. My cardstock is cut a hair or folded a hair crooked, but so it's a little funky on the bottom, but that's okay. All right, and then let's see. This is really a couple layers. I could pop that up a little bit, just this part, so it doesn't lay so weird. I think I will. I hadn't intended on it initially, but I think I will. Where are my scissors here? So I have some real thin foam tape, and I'm just gonna cut it in a few strips. I initially thought maybe I'd pop the sentiment up, and I might still pop a part of it up. We'll see how it goes, but, oh, whoops, I don't wanna, okay, so I wanna go about there, so I'm gonna start my tape right about here. This is like your imperfect way to measure something, right? I'm gonna put something there, up here, and whoops, let's see, I wanna cut that. Trying to give it as much support in different ways without using a whole thing here. All right, that should do the trick. We'll peel it off. I saved one for this if I want to use it. Well, hello, little thing. Come on. There we go. All right. Now, I like to put a little glue on the sticky just so I have some wiggle room. If I set it down not quite where I want it the first time, or drop it, that happens quite often. Okay, so kind of want it centered as much as possible, but I have to remember, actually I don't want it totally centered because I have this thing that's going to hang off the edge a little bit, right? And I have to have room for my adorable gopher, so I think we'll go here. You know, we could, if I had left enough room at the bottom too, we could use it a real skinny little sentiment down here too, or it'd be cute to have like a bow, a ribbon and a bow under there. Anyway, I always think of a million ideas after I do it, right? All right, so I think if our sweet little gopher's here, we can have our Hello Spring sentiment very close to our gopher. Okay, so let's put our gopher down first. And we could either pop the gopher up. No, I think I'm just going to put the gopher right on. I love to put dimension on cards, but it does make them, it's harder to mail them. Like little rhinestones and things like that aren't the super thick ones are okay because you can put a real thin piece of something in there, you know, so that you can send the card easier and it doesn't poke through. But if you put too much dimension in terms of foam, you create these big blobs for the postage machine, and then you pay a whole bunch extra that you didn't want to pay for postage. I actually made a card that I was so thrilled about, loved it so much, and I had to send it like a package, and this was a couple years ago, and it cost like $3 or something, which now would probably be a lot more than that. Okay, so I like that. I'm happy I did that. Another happy accident. So I'm just gonna put some glue. Oh, my tummy's gonna growl. I apologize. Oof-da. Okay, let's make sure we're somewhat straight. We know kind of where we want it. We have the cute little hat. I love it. I love it. I love it. We could give a little bit of grounding under here. Don't know if it was absolutely necessary, but we'll see how it looks, right? Kind of like it. Just so it's not absolutely floating. Put a couple blades of grass here or there, right? And I think we did it. We did it, we did it. Thank you, Margie. So yeah, so hello spring. There's our cute little gopher from our Gopher It set from July of last year. Love that set so much. I'm so glad I got to play with it. We used the, I think it's called Starburst stencil. Also with the Raspberry Rose, which is ink of the month. And we did the inside also with the stamp set. I Dig Our Friendship and some more of that stenciling with the Raspberry Rose. And I just really love it. I hope you do too. Oh, Stylish Stars. Thank you. Thanks, Kim. I'm the worst. I am the worst at remembering names of things. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. Okay, let me move this down so we can get a good shot of the final card. Move my fingies out of the way, and thank you so very much for being part of my Throwback Thursday color along today, you guys. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.